mask once you are seated. Military members in uniform will stand at attention during the playing of the national anthem, and civilian guests are invited to place their right hand over their heart. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the 7th Medical Group Commander and Presiding Officer, Colonel Jeffrey Cook, welcome to the 7th Medical Support Squadron Change of Command Ceremony, in which Lieutenant Colonel Gloria Walski relinquishes command to Lieutenant Colonel Michael Rinkus. The Change of Command Ceremony is a visible means of handing the reins of command from one commander to another. Exchanging the guidon is more than just a symbolic tradition. The guidon identifies the loyalty and allegiance of the unit. Passing it to another officer was, and still is, the literal change of command. Today, the 7th Medical Support Squadron guidon will be posted. It will not be passed as we are in unprecedented times of adhering to social distancing. Today's ceremony is simple and direct. The departing commander will face the presiding officer, salute, and say, "Sir, I relinquish command." She then steps aside as the new commander takes his place in front of the presiding officer. He salutes and says, "Sir, I assume command." In all, 8 spoken words, but in those 8 words are an ending and a beginning. For Lieutenant Colonel Walski, it marks the end of a distinguished tour with the 7th Medical Support Squadron. For Lieutenant Colonel Rinkus, it heralds the beginning of a new and challenging tour of duty. To both, we offer our best wishes. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce our distinguished guests in attendance with us today. Please hold your applause until all are announced. The 7th Medical Group Commander and today's presiding official's wife, Ms. Tina Cook. The 7th Bomb Wing Commander, Colonel Ed Simingo. The 7th Bomb Wing Vice Commander, Colonel Matt Newell. The 7th Bomb Wing Command Chief, Eric Duggar. We are especially pleased to have with us today Lieutenant Colonel Walski's family, her husband Brian, and their son, Nathan and Adam. Also joining us today is Lieutenant Colonel Rinkus' family, his wife Diane, and their daughter Ella, and their son Joseph. We would like to also welcome welcome all the families, friends, group and squadron commanders, honorary commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, and Team Dias warriors that joined us at the ceremony and virtually for this special occasion. It is my pleasure to introduce the 7th Medical Group Commander, Colonel Cook.
Good morning. I'd like to thank Colonel Sumagill, Colonel Newell, Chief Duggar, group and squadron commanders, chiefs, and the incredible group of airmen that make up the 7th Medical Support Squadron. Some of you are here in person, and many others are watching online this morning. Thank you all for joining us to take part in the ceremony today. These ceremonies don't just come together. It takes a lot of hard work, and so I'd like to thank a couple folks that made it possible. Tech Sergeant Watkins, thank you for taking on the job of Project Officer. Lieutenant Frazier, thanks for being our narrator today. Donna and Tech Sergeant Norman, thank you for your protocol support. As always, you guys do an amazing job. So I wish I had a job to see all of the squadron here today, but due to COVID-19, we're doing things a little differently this year. If you think about it, these ceremonies are a lot like the Air Force. When confronted with a challenge, the men and the women of the Air Force will figure out a way to get the job done. In this instance, we're doing what it takes to preserve this time-honored tradition while keeping everyone safe. If you haven't watched one of these ceremonies this year, you'll notice that we're doing it a little differently, as Lieutenant Frazier mentioned. We won't be able to complete the transfer of the guidon, but we will be able to honor our outgoing commander, Lieutenant Colonel Gloria Walski, and welcome our new commander, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Rinkus. And we will be able to execute a change of command. So before I move on to Lieutenant Colonel Walski, I'd like to thank the rest of the Walski family. Brian, Nathan, Adam, thank you guys for what you've done. Squadron Command is an amazing job, but it is one that you can never really turn off or get away from. So I appreciate the sacrifices that your family has had to make these last 2 years. Lieutenant Colonel Walski, I know the time has flown by, but would you believe that you sat in this ceremony similar to this 766 days ago today and took this very guidon? With it, you also accepted all that comes with responsibility and the burdens of command. During those 766 days, you have delivered excellence time and time again. Not only did you lead your squadron, but you also served as the medical group administrator during a period that was extremely busy. I think it's safe to say that you got your money's worth in this assignment. You've gained experience from executing a $14 million project. You've prepped the medical group for MedCoy and the electronic health record Genesis. You've worked in preparing the medical group for medical reform, and you've helped the 7th Medical Group through one of the biggest organizational transformations that we've seen in military medicine in more than 26 years. While your squadron did not change too much with this reorganization, your help and the help of the Medical Support Squadron enabled this transition to occur seamlessly and has allowed us to focus our efforts on medical readiness and trusted care. Come to think of it, that's exactly what the Medical Support Squadron does every day. They're the ones often behind the scenes ensuring that we have the medical supplies, the IT support, the money, the manpower, and all the resources necessary to make the medical group run. Additionally, your squadron came together during COVID-19 and was very instrumental in making the medical group viable, even in the face of a global pandemic. As many of you know, nearly 20,000 beneficiaries count on our pharmacy for their medications. When COVID-19 hit, I gave you the almost insurmountable task of figuring out a way to deliver 600 prescriptions a day to our patients without them coming into our facility. And you figured out a way to get it done. Not only that, but we were under HB-Con Charlie during much of the last few months, so our retirees were concentrated to 2 days a week. There's no doubt that you had an amazing pharmacy team, an amazing group practice managers that helped you get together on the details, but it does not come together with leaders such as yourself to make it happen. And then to constantly look at our processes and fight to make them better every day. The theme of excellence is part of your squadron's culture. It was because of this culture that I was not surprised in the least to see that our lab was awarded an unprecedented 5th flawless CAP certification, a distinction that no other military medical treatment facility in the Department of Defense can claim. Gloria's focus on excellence was equal only in her focus on the airmen within her squadron. She created an environment where airmen have thrived and where they have felt what we all want to feel, a sense of belonging to a winning team and something bigger than ourselves. Gloria, it's for these reasons that I want to thank you for your time in command, and I applaud the Air Force that they got it right when they selected you for a 2nd Squadron at the 10th Medical Group at the United States Air Force Academy. It's been a pleasure to work with you and to get to know you, Brian, Nathan, and Adam. You have an amazing family, and I cannot wait to see what you are going to accomplish in our Air Force in even more senior leader positions in the future. So while it's hard to let one leader leave, we get to welcome another. And this is, we have Lieutenant Colonel Michael Rinkus is going to be the next Medical Support Squadron for the 7th Medical Group. Mike, Diane, Ella, Joseph, I'd like to be the first to formally welcome you guys to this outstanding team. Mike, you were chosen because you have the experience, the proven performance, and leadership qualities to take the 7th Medical Support Squadron to even greater levels of excellence. Lieutenant Colonel Rinkus he most recently served as the Chief of Public Health Branch at Headquarters Special Ops Command. There he helped lead ASOC through many public health challenges that they faced. Mike, in your cover letter and in our interview, you described it how it's your passion to take care of airmen. Like your predecessor, I have no doubt that you will create an environment where your airmen and their families can thrive as they support the 7th Medical Group and the men and women of Team Dias. Michael, you are the perfect person to lead this squadron, and you have my full faith and confidence as you take command. Thank you again for all of you being here today and those watching online. I wish you all an outstanding Air Force Day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Cook presents Lieutenant Colonel Walski the Meritorious Service Medal. Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that the President of the United States, by executive order, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal, 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster, to Lieutenant Colonel Gloria J. Walski for meritorious service, 8 June 2018 to 13 July 2020. Lieutenant Colonel Gloria J. Walski distinguished herself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to the 7th Medical Support Squadron. During this period, Colonel Walski was instrumental to the operation of a 350-member medical treatment facility, executing a $14 million budget to deliver healthcare support for 20,000 beneficiaries. She facilitated a $12 million construction project, as well as numerous other contracts for $6 million to enhance patient experiences, including installation of pharmacy kiosks, which slashed wait time 69%. Further, she modernized the $1.2 million information systems infrastructure and laid the foundation for the Defense Health Agency Network and electronic health record. She navigated the medical group through the largest transition ever seen in the military health system and led the Air Force Medical Service reorganization for Dias, deactivating 2 squadrons and establishing 2 new squadrons to focus on red-based care for 46,000 airmen. As facility administrator, she oversaw Global Strike's first Operation Ready Eagle at a public health emergency training event, propelling the group's readiness rate to 99%, effectively preparing the medics to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, under her leadership, the group achieved the Department of Defense first ever 5th consecutive flawless laboratory accreditation inspection and secured 1 Air Force and 5 Global Strike Awards. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Walski reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the 7th Medical Support Squadron Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Walski.
Good morning. Colonel Sumagill, who is joining us virtually, Colonel Newell, Chief Duggar, Colonel Cook, Tina, Colonel Deal, Chief Lake, members of Team Dias, warm welcome to Mike and Diane, Joe and Ella, and especially the men and women of the 7th Medical Support Squadron. I know this isn't the normal way of doing a change of command, but I love that people are able to participate from wherever they are. So a special hello to my friends and family tuning in from afar, to include my parents in Seattle, my brother in San Diego, and my in-laws in California and Arizona. Before I forget, I'd like to express my gratitude to Sergeant Watkins for putting this all together. I truly appreciate your flexibility, and I think the plan for this ceremony shifted about 20 times for various reasons. I know you had a team of helpers supporting you, like Major Smith, the CSS, and the best ever protocol team working behind the scenes to make this happen. Thank you to Lieutenant Frazier for narrating the ceremony, and Airman Whitaker for your support this morning. And also many thanks to Tech Sergeant Patterson from PA and her team for the audiovisual support to have the ceremony live streamed. It is unusual to be doing the ceremony without a formation, but at least no one is having to stand at parade rest today. Thank you, Master Sergeant Roberts, for representing the squadron. The past 2 years have flown by. I've been honored to serve as the squadron commander for one of the best squadrons in the United States Air Force. I want to thank Colonel Parker and Colonel Roberts for having faith and confidence in me, and many thanks to Colonel Sumagill and Colonel Cook for keeping me on. You've taught me a lot to make me a better officer and commander. Fellow squadron commanders, I appreciate your support, and it has been a lot of fun serving with you, especially playing fantasy football. Just don't forget, I placed in the top 3 for our league 2 years in a row. Not bad for someone who doesn't watch football. Jenna, thank you for being here today. I value our friendship and love that we got to learn squadron command together. I hope every squadron commander has a wingman like you. Best of luck to you at your next assignment. Izzy, Julie, Kaylin, even though Brian and Izzy are blood relatives, our families didn't know each other that well before we moved here. But now I feel like we've known each other all our lives. It has been a blessing to have you here with us, and we will cherish all the memories we've shared with you. Izzy, thank you for being my personal squadron commander mentor, and I couldn't have done it without you. I'm truly grateful for your guidance over the past 2 years. To the men and women of the 7th Medical Support Squadron, you are truly amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about the Medical Support Squadron. They are athletes who won base intramural football and volleyball and came close in basketball. They are airmen who achieve personal bests on fitness assessments. They are volunteers shaping and improving the Dias and Abilene communities. They started new relationships, they got married, they welcomed new babies into the world. They experienced heartbreaks as relationships came to an end. They bravely said goodbye one last time to a parent. They deployed, they became first-time homeowners. They're this and so much more. And in their spare time, they were recipients of an Air Force Level Award, 5 Global Strike Awards, a Civilian Industry Award for Excellence, 2 officer candidate selections, numerous promotions, personal and team achievements, and educational degrees. They aced multiple inspections and were a part of the medical group earning full accreditation from the Joint Commission, and the lab achieved their 5th consecutive no-notice flawless inspection from the College of American Pathologists, the only lab to ever accomplish this in the DoD. The Medical Support Squadron was at the forefront as the med group transitioned under the Defense Health Agency. They made the medical squadron reforms happen, and of course, they dealt with a little thing called COVID these last 4 months. I am so proud to have been part of such a wonderful squadron, and I want to thank the men and women of the 7th Medical Support Squadron for letting me be a part of their lives and watch them grow. To my husband, Brian, I can't put into words how much I appreciate you, and I know the squadron appreciated you too. You've given insight and guidance to our young officers and their spouses on joint spouse life and life after the Air Force. You played on the med group softball team, you picked up trash with us at Adopt a Highway, and manned the grill at squadron picnics. To my boys, Nathan and Adam. Before we arrived here, Nathan told random strangers that we were moving to Texas. Now his younger brother Adam is telling random strangers that we're moving to Colorado. I know they're as sad as I am to be leaving Dias, but I hope they're just as excited about starting the next chapter of our lives. I'm comforted in knowing that I leave the squadron in good hands. Mike, I hope you enjoy your time with the 7th Medical Support Squadron as much as I have. Remember, the best supports the best.
great honor to serve under your command. The men and women of the 7th Medical Support Squadron thank you for your leadership, support, and dedication. Please accept these small tokens on behalf of the men and women of the 7th Medical Support Squadron. We wish you and Mr. Wolski good luck and Godspeed in the future. On behalf of the men and women of the 7th Medical Support Squadron, Master Sergeant Eric Roberts will now render Lieutenant Colonel Wolski her final salute as their commander.
MDSS!
The best support the rest! It's been a pleasure, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command. Attention to orders. By order of Colonel Jeffrey N. Cook, Special Order Number G-2023, Lieutenant Colonel Michael C. Rinkus assumes command of the 7th Medical Support Squadron. Vice Lieutenant Colonel Gloria J. Wolski, effective 13 July 2020. Officers, Senator.
Sir, I assume command.
Officers, post. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the 7th Medical Support Squadron Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Rinkus.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Having previously been assigned to Minot Air Force Base, my family and I are genuinely excited to rejoin the Global Strike community here at DIAS. We understand there may be some 3-digit temperatures to contend with in big country, but we find comfort in knowing we'll probably never see consecutive weeks of sub-zero weather like we did in North Dakota. My sincerest thank you to Lieutenant Frazier, Tech Sergeant Watkins, Ms. Bedell, and Tech Sergeant Norman, and to the many other personnel behind the scenes who contributed in making this ceremony a reality. Your efforts today have provided all of us the opportunity to preserve the long-standing Air Force tradition and to safely chronicle this day in history. To my wife Diane, son Joe, and daughter Ella, we finally made it to Texas. You have been there every step of the way on our Air Force journey and continue to sacrifice and serve with me. Thank you for the constant support and understanding, as I could never do this without you. To the men and women of the 7th Medical Support Squadron, under Lieutenant Colonel Wolski's leadership, you have propelled the squadron to new heights in the face of numerous and unforeseen challenges. We will continue those successful endeavors while innovating in the face of new challenges to ensure the squadron remains aligned with the 7th Medical Group's mission and vision. As medics, we are personally connected to our profession through our empathetic and altruistic nature. However, as we continue this marathon pandemic response, I ask you all to be mindful of your personal health and the health and welfare of your families, because you all know, without medics, you die. Colonel Sumingill, Colonel Newell, Chief Duggar, and Colonel Cook, I would like to extend my deepest appreciation as I am humbled and honored by your confidence in my ability to lead, develop, preserve, and protect our Air Force's greatest assets, our airmen and their families. Whether they are active duty, Guard, Reserve, civilian, or contractors, the 7th Medical Support Squadron, along with our community partners, will stand committed to enabling an unparalleled patient-centered continuity of care so those airmen and their families are ready to support the 7th Bomb Wing's mission and vision. My family and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you, and I am confident at a future date we will once again have the ability to greet each other without a face mask and safely serve immediately alongside one another. Thank you.
we extend a warm West Texas welcome to the Rinkus family. Ms. Rinkus, please accept the flowers on behalf of the men and women of the 7th Medical Support Squadron. On behalf of the men and women of the Medical Support Squadron, Master Sergeant Roberts will now welcome Lieutenant Colonel Rinkus with his first salute as their commander.
MDSS.
The best support the rest. Welcome to the squadron, sir.
This concludes today's ceremony. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party.